Alright, and we're rolling. I'm going to show you how to make a basic atmospheric ship. Atmospheric ships. Oh, and Space Engineers. Forgot to add. This is Space Engineers. This game is Space Engineers. Atmospheric ships. They are ships that only work in air. They only work in the atmosphere. They don't work in space. They don't work on planets that don't have air. This is just a super simple tutorial. This is going to be the first of a playlist of tutorials. I want to get new people into this game. This is my favorite game. So my hotbar that I have right now is mainly everything you're going to need unless I forgot something. Wait, I think I did actually forget something. Let me just, okay, this is mainly everything you're going to need unless I forgot something else. And I'm just going to start it off right here. No more introduction. So the first thing you're going to do, obviously, is place a landing gear. Landing gear is the foundation of your ship. It's the landing gear. It starts off the ship. You can't build a small ship off of a large blocks like these, or else it's just going to be connected to it. And it's going to be the same ship as what you're building on. I place a landing gear down because this is now a separate ship. This is a separate entity. I guess you're going to want to place a few blocks up so that you're able to work under your ship. And I'd say the first thing you're going to want to put down is a cockpit. This is what controls your ship. I just want to state now, this is just up to me. Like, this is what I do. If you want to, if you want to learn, once you learn how to do this, if you want to do something different than me, that's completely fine. This is just what I do, like, as a beginner ship. If you're starting out on Survivor World, you just want to do a beginner ship. This is my beginner ship. So this is what I do. So after this, I want to, usually, even if I'm in atmosphere, I want to have an O2H2 generator on my ship. And I do not have one currently. So I'm just going to get one quickly. Okay. You see this O2H2 generator? It has, I can't really see it from that far away, but it has two connection ports on it. And they line up really well with the back of this cockpit. So I just saved myself the time. And it'll refill your hydrogen, and it'll refill your oxygen, just placing one on there. Now, I'm not in survival mode, so I don't have to weld this stuff up, but in survival mode, you would have to weld these things up. Now, we have a cockpit, and we have an O2H2 generator. You put ice in it, and it makes oxygen and hydrogen. And so once you get in here, because it's connected to it, it'll fill up your suit's oxygen and hydrogen. Next, I like to usually put on any ship. I don't have a lot of things that I need. Oh, I had to put landing gear down. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Okay, I put a cargo container down because if you see, once again, we have a large port right here, and there's a large port on the end of the O2H2 generator. It just makes things a lot easier. Just, I don't know, organizing. So this is my main basis that I have. I have a cockpit, O2H2, and a cargo container. And now, because of where I put these things, they're all lined up and they're all connected to each other. So after that, I usually put a power source down, which is the battery, and it all lines up. It's all 3x3. Yeah, 3x3. Make sure I was doing that right. It's all 3x3, and yeah, it's just a big square, but it's an efficient. No, it's not a square. It's an efficient rectangle. But so I have power on it now. Now, if you built this in survival mode, this would only have one of those square dots on it to start out with. But since I'm in creative, it has 4 dots, or 4 squares. That just means it's fully charged. But it'll have only 1 dot in survival mode, which means you gotta charge it up. After that, I would probably start putting the thrusters on. Now, the thrusters are what make your, ship fly. You have to have at least 1 thruster in every single direction, except for on planets, you can really kind of cheat a little bit if you're doing atmospheric, or really on planets, you can just cheat a little bit by not having a thruster that points down, because gravity already does that for you. In space, there's no gravity, so you have to have a down thruster also. But I usually start, since we're going with everything is 3x3, I just placed one of these on the back, and this is our up thrust. This just makes it's really important that you have up thrust first, because or else your ship's just going to fall to the ground. Up is the main thruster power you need on your ship. Next, I usually put forward thrust. And forward thrust, I'm going to go ahead and place 3 on each side. Now, this is just a rectangle ship. This is a very ugly ship, but it's supposed to be ugly. It's supposed to just get you through. It's supposed to be your first ship. There we go. And then you have to have, I usually like to put equal amount of thrust forward and backwards, just so you accelerate at the exact same, I don't know, acceleration. You decelerate and accelerate at the exact same amount of time. There we go. So the bases we have so far is up, going forward, and stopping, going backwards. And so our next thrust after that would be left and right. So we're going to go put thrusters, and I'm just going to put them up here for right now. We're going to do probably one there. Let's do one there. There. Okay. So I also, atmospheric thrusters. You have to have this front vent open, because it has to have air get inside there, and you have to have these back parts open also, because hot air comes out of this side, and it's gonna break whatever blocks in front of it. Like if I put a block right here, I can't because it wouldn't be connected to anything. But if I had blocks like right here, number one, it really wouldn't be as efficient like to start out with, and it'd break this block eventually, unless you turn that off in your settings. So this ship, it's extremely ugly, but it's efficient. I think. We're gonna test it and make sure it's efficient in a second. One of the last things you have to put on ship 2 is a gyroscope. This makes you able to move your ship, like with your mouse, going left to right, up and down, all that. It allows you to turn your ship. And now this is just me, but I usually like to have a antenna and an ore detector on all my ships, just because you never know what ores you're gonna find, or you never know what you're going to pick up. And also antennas help you to locate your ship, because once you put an antenna on immediately, I have these off, but look, it says FSTC antenna, just so you can locate your ship, just so you know where it is, you don't lose it. Let me turn these back off. Signals are always annoying. Okay, so after all this, you really have all the fundamentals, but then see if I break this block, it's hovering now because we have this back thrust going up. I usually like to put one big thruster because, like I said, up is the most important direction. And you still have a space here. You can open up your cargo container. I always like to have cargo containers on all my ships, just because you never know where you're going to be hauling. You might need to haul a bunch of ore, haul a bunch of components, whatever. And now to connect this to a base to charge it up, you can either have, later in game, you can put reactors, small reactors on it, which costs uranium, or since you have a battery on there, and you have a, let's just say you, this is your base, this platform's your base. If you put a big connector down, that's not the right angle, a big connector down, and you have another connector on the bottom, I'll put it right here just so it can connect, like, and be connected to everything else. You'd be able to charge your ship. Let's just get over here. It actually moves pretty well. If you can see that, okay, so I'll show you that. I'll show you one thing in a second that I just noticed. But you would be able to connect your ship to your base like this. And I don't recommend this if you have multiple ships connected to a base, but for now I'm gonna press P, which is just the parking. But if you have other ships on your connected to your same grid, like one of these, like if you had multiple, oh geez, that's not the way to go. If you had multiple ships connected to multiple of these, if you press P on that ship, it's gonna unlock all of them. So don't do that. If you have one ship, I guess it's fine. Just don't get in the habit of it. Because if you go in here, you can press G, go into your menu of everything that's on your ship. You can put your connector down here, switch lock, which just means unlocked. Wait, I have to go down. Now if I press this instead, 1, it's locked instead of pressing P. It's way safer. And then if I press 1 again, it's a switch lock, so unlocked. You can go up. Okay, so here is the basic ship. This is just everything you need to move. So now if you see down in the bottom right hand corner how it has my power down there, and it says I have an hour's worth of power in this one battery. If I go forward, it says 100 on it. That means I'm using all of the, like, I'm taking too much out of the battery that it can give out to give power to all my thrusters. So what I would suggest is maybe put a little bit too many thrusters on, like just get rid of 1 on each side. Or no, 2 on each side. And I go forward again. See, it only does 74. So that it uses a lot of power, but it's not using all of it. Okay, now see, since I'm going to the side, I'm using multiple thrusters at once, a lot of them on here, It says 100 again because I'm using a lot. But for small ships, sometimes it's not really much to worry about unless you're really hauling something and you're really heavy. Because then a lot of times you can slowly fall to the ground just when you're trying to go forward. So, oh, I completely lost my platform. Oh, it's over there. Okay, so that should do it for just a basic small ship. This is everything you need on a very small ship. You want everything to be balanced out. You want everything to be equal. And you also got to, I'll talk about in future videos how you need to, a lot of times you need to, what's the word? You need to think about your ship's weight. Because the more your ship weighs, the more you're hauling inside your ship, the more thrusters you're going to need to be able to propel your ship upwards. Like if this entire cargo container was full of something right now, these thrusters may not cut it. But I know it's ugly. I know it's not really pretty, but it's efficient. It's a good first ship if you just started a survival world. And I'll definitely be talking about in future videos actual design concepts and, you know, things to make your ship not look like a rectangle, but it's an efficient rectangle. I keep saying the word efficient. Sorry. That should do it. I can't think of anything else that'd be on this ship. So that's going to do it for, I guess, my first ship tutorial. If you have any questions, if anybody has any questions that watches this, just put it down in the comments. I'll most likely respond to it if you have any questions. And then I'm going to make future videos on ion thrusters, hydrogen, everything to do with hydrogen, bases, stations, everything to do with large grids, small grids, just all that. So if I haven't done something that you want to get done, it's going to get done. It's going to get done in the future. Don't worry. That's all I have for now. So I'm going to say peace out.
Are you all my personal dreams?